Welcome to Empowerment Radio. My name is Dr. Friedemann, and I'm so glad that you decided to join me. Empowerment Radio is about giving you the insights, tools, and solutions to address some of the most challenging aspects of our daily lives. So sit back, relax, and empower yourself. Welcome back to Empowerment Radio. How to be the leader of your life? Well, you first of all pay attention. You have awareness on what you do, how you get yourself stuck, how you lose your power, how you don't get your results. Or maybe you are aware of how you are following the wrong track and it's not really who you are, what you're doing, and you wonder why you have always felt so down or anxious or somehow, maybe lost in life. Just have an awareness. An awareness, again, is like a map. Creating the map, here's where I am, that's the territory. Then you are going inside and listening, paying attention to how you speak to yourself, the narratives, the stories that you tell yourself, the assumptions that you're making that often are just not true. And you still don't learn from many, many examples where you assumed this is how it is, it turned out to be different, and the next time you still do the same assumption. So that holding on to assumptions, another way of not being the leader in your life because it makes you feel disempowered or small. And listening to yourself with empathy, with a desire to get all of you in alignment, to get all of you on board, is another important aspect of being a leader in your life. Now, the third skill is reframing. Now, personally, I love reframing. And it's very simple. Why? Because I believe, as I said before, that reality doesn't exist. Reality is just an interpretation of us. And when you use reframing, it's not just an interpretation, it's actually a choice. We are not able to control or change all the circumstances we're in, or the people, not even the people we are living with. I wish I could, but we can't. But what we can do is to see them in a perspective that makes us feel the best, maybe the most at peace, the most empowered, the most motivated to do something different so that the situation may improve. Whatever it is, our opportunity, and in many ways our responsibility, is to be the creators of our reality. And by reframing, we have a tool that just allows us to do that. Now, reframing is not fooling yourself. Reframing is not saying, well, this is a bad situation, but, it's really, really good. Everything's going to be fine. I know it. And in the end, deep inside, it's not true. It's not true when, maybe your mother has terminal cancer and you tell yourself, oh, no, she's going to be okay. Well, that is denial. That is not really facing the facts. But reframing is using what you have and simply turning it into an opportunity, asking yourself what you can do with this to grow, or to just in the moment see it in a more holistic or in a more empowering way. For example, simple, you get a cold and you have a choice to be in bed and moan and whine, or to tell yourself, well, my body obviously says I need some rest and I have pushed myself very hard, and that was a way for my body to slow me down. In the future, I will give myself more time off and I will do a better job to replenish myself so that I don't have to go into getting ill with a cold. Or let's say, for example, you're stuck in traffic. Maybe life tells you you have to slow down. Maybe life tells you, hey, this is your chance to call your sister that you haven't talked to in a long time. Maybe life tells you, hey, I can actually do this breathing exercise that I heard about, 5 seconds inhaling, 5 seconds exhaling. It really gets me into an equilibrium. Cool, I'll try that. That is reframing, using what is to your benefit. Or your friend stood you up, and rather than feeling rejected by them and making up a story of why they don't like you, you wonder if they have forgotten or if they're okay. And you reach out with, real concern or empathy, and
and find out that they really have just lost their phone and couldn't call you. Whatever those things are, try to take the reframing in a way that you feel empowered, in a way that you feel good. The whole COVID situation for many was a huge opportunity to reframe. They had to really see that what happened, either as this is a pandemic that potentially can kill us and everyone we care about, oh my God, or wow, this is an opportunity to stay at home in the time of the quarantine and really get closer with the family, have maybe conversations we usually don't have, be more involved with the kids, or get closer to yourself. Learn to not always run around and be busy and distract yourself, but really sit with yourself, face yourself, and then, like I said before, do some inner listening and some inner talking with yourself. For many people, that has been actually a very fulfilling experience. With all the hardship, of course, that we all know about, that is not diminishing the pain, but it's also seeing that in all of that, there was something in there that helped people to grow or help people to maybe discover things about themselves or their life that they hadn't known about, that they hadn't paid attention to before. So reframing is a practice. It's almost like a muscle that you want to use every day. You want to stretch with a creative mind the way you're seeing life. At the beginning, I talked about awareness. Now you know how you have a limiting awareness. Now you can turn it around and you frame it in a way that actually feels much more open and much more confident building. Sometimes clients cancel on me because, something came up or they got sick or whatever. And in the past, I felt frustrated. And then I realized, no, this is awesome. I really enjoy it because now I have 2 hours more to write on my book or to write on my blog. And it really gave me somehow an extra time that I otherwise wouldn't have. And I enjoy it. Or some people feel like, that they have been victimized by the past. And again, that is the awareness they have gained, that their story is, I always going to feel like I'm a victim of others or my circumstances. And then they realize, yes, that's a reframing. Yeah, I have been victimized. I was maybe neglected or abused when I was little, or maybe even as an adult, but it didn't break me. The victimization that occurred didn't make me a person who is now victimizing others or feels completely broken and not able to move on. I'm still here. I'm still moving forward, and I'm still aiming for a better life and more power. So my spirit was not diminished. I'm not defined by what happened. I'm actually defined now, but by what I do with what happened. And that's, again, just a way to reframe. So in a nutshell, when you want to reframe, you're just going to ask yourself 2 questions. You're in a situation that you say, I have to get a different perspective on that. So you tell yourself, how can I use or turn this situation into an advantage or into an opportunity? Lots of my clients come to me with anxiety and panic attacks that they have been struggling with, and of course it feels horrible, and they really feel like I don't know, this is probably the worst time in my life to wake up with this grip of anxiety on my chest. And when we do reframing, they realize this is my wake-up call. This is my chance to make me realize that I need to make a course correction, that I wasn't really living my truth, that I didn't even know who I am. And because I have been living so outside of myself, the anxiety just told me, stop, pay attention to yourself. And the anxiety was like, that one, the catalyst for change, the one that woke them up. That is something where let's say you lose a job and you feel like, how does this serve me? How can this be an advantage? Well, maybe it is about, finding a better opportunity, or going and getting another, education that you can add on to what you have been doing, or maybe becoming self-employed or following your heart. there are plenty of things that don't necessarily make it immediately better. I'm not saying you have the magic wand with reframing, but you are seeing that there is another way, there is a door, there is a possibility, and it gets you out of that feeling so paralyzed by the situation you're in. Your energy, your power, your force goes towards something else. And that in itself is, setting up for greater success and much easier change. And the other question you can ask yourself is how you can see the situation already in a more positive light. So where you are seeing that you can actually, see the situation as something that just by shifting your perspective, it changes completely. So people have often physical issues, like back pain or chronic inflammation, and just seeing it not as, oh, my body betrays me, or there is something wrong with me, just seeing it as more metaphorically, oh, I feel backstabbed, or I feel like I cannot digest something, or I feel like I have the weight of the world on my back. All of those things can then turn it around into something from now you can say, well, what do I need to change to not feel this way? And why do I feel this way in the first place? So the goal of reframing is to get you moving, to get your energy moving, to feel like you are shifting from being this passenger of what happens to you to being the driver who chooses which direction you want to go. It's very powerful, and it's also a lot of fun. So try it out. And you can always send me some questions about this, because it's a little bit of a hobby of mine, helping people to reframe. So if you want to send me something where you feel like I have no idea how to reframe that, hello@drfriedman.com. I'm happy to hear from you about that. We'll be right back with the fourth skill to becoming the leader of your life, which is gaining trust in yourself. Stay tuned. Hi, Dr. Friedemann here. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. If you're interested in learning more about fear and anxiety, here you'll find guided meditations, webinars, and interviews with some of the most renowned experts in the field of empowerment. Delve into the over 230 videos and more to come every week.